Hello students, welcome back to Unix programming class. Today we are going to learn about the shell. So the name itself is having a dignity, right? It is the shell. It is not simply the shell, it is the shell. The is used because the shell was not the kind of a shell was not existing before. So it was invented for the first time. So it is the shell. Okay, let us see the shell's interpretive life cycle. On logging on to a Unix machine, we see a prompt and system seems to be idle, isn't it? So when we log into the Unix machine, a dollar prompt will be available for us and we think that the system is idle, isn't it? So shell is not actually it performs multiple operations, right? It performs multiple operations. It has different roles to play. Like it is a command interpreter. It interprets the commands and hand it over to the kernel for further execution. It acts as an interface between the user and the kernel because it accepts the commands from the user, interprets it and hands it over to the kernel for execution. And it is also a programming language, right? I have told you that it is a programming language which will give you the constructs like other programming languages have, like if, switch, loops, etc., variables and all. So it is a programming language also, so it plays multiple roles. Okay, so when you log on to the system, you will see the dollar prompt and you think that the system is idle, but actually the shell will be running on the terminal. Okay, shell will be running. That dollar prompt means it is the interface which is given to you for accepting the command, right? So it is an interface. It will accept the command and interprets it, right? So shell will be running in the background. It swings into action the moment you key in something, isn't it? When you enter something, when you key in some command, then it will come into action and it will accept that command as input and performs operations on it. For example, like if you execute ps command, what is ps command? Ps command stands for process status. Okay, process status. So we have studied that whenever a program is stored in the form of a file, it will be simply a file, but when it is executed, it becomes a program under execution, right? It becomes a process, it gets life, right? So it is under process. So all those processes which are running currently, because Unix is a multitasking operating system, many tasks will be running simultaneously. So all those programs which are running simultaneously can be seen on the using the ps command. Okay, can be seen using the ps command. So this ps command is also a process when you execute, so it will show you the ps and also the bash. Okay, it will also show you the bash. Okay, bash means the type of shell. I have told you, there are multiple types of shells available. We'll discuss about it in later slides. Okay, so bash shell, C shell, corn shell, TC shell, etc. are available. So here it is running the bash shell and a MintTTY. MintTTY means it is a terminal which is an emulator for the terminal. Okay, then see, these are the processes which are running, their UIDs, their start times, in which terminal they are executing. We have studied ps command in detail, right? So PID of the process, PPID means parent process ID. As I told you, process is a living entity. It has parent process, it has child process, isn't it? So parent process ID, group ID, Windows PID, okay, etc. will be displayed. So when you execute the ps command, and majorly what processes currently are running on your system will be displayed, out of which the shell is also displayed, means that is also running. It keeps running throughout you log your session. Session means when you log into the system, your session starts, and after you complete your work, you log out, your session ends. Okay, so that is your session. From your login to logout, that is your session. Throughout your session, the shell will be active. It will be performing some operations. So when a command is keyed in, it goes as an input to the shell. So whenever you enter a command in the dollar prompt, that will be going as an input to the shell. So the following activities are performed by the shell in its interpretive cycle. Interpretive cycle means, as we discussed, when we give some input to the shell, the command, when we enter the command on the shell prompt, it will accept, it will interpret it. So that is interpretive life cycle. Okay, so interpret it and hands it over to the kernel. So during this process, what are all the steps the shell performs, that makes the interpretive cycle. Okay, because it keeps repeating again and again whenever you enter a command. Okay, so this is an important question paper question. Many a times it is asked. Okay, so it is an important question paper question. You have to learn all these 5 steps thoroughly. Okay, so let us see what are all the steps, which are activities which are performed in the interpretive cycle of the shell. The first thing is, the shell issues the prompt and waits for the command. So as soon as you log into the Unix operating system, a prompt will be given to you, right? A prompt will be given to you and it will be waiting for you to enter the command, right? So that is the first step shell does. Then when you enter the command, it scans the command line. Okay, it scans the command line for meta characters. So what is a meta character? Meta character is some special character which is a predefined character having some special meaning. Okay, like star. Okay, so we have studied in the previous class also, right? Star. So we'll study many other such multiple meta characters are there. All of them and their meaning and their usage we will study in today's discussion. So one such meta character is star. We have question mark, we have dot, we have parenthesis, square brackets, we have round brackets, we have flower parenthesis. Okay, all of them are treated as meta characters because they are predefined characters having some predefined meaning. Okay, so all of them, when any such meta character is encountered in the command which you have entered, then it will interpret its meaning. Like for example, here in rm star, what is the meaning of rm star? Rm is remove command, right? It removes the files. What it should remove? You should give file name as argument to rm. Which file to be removed, that you should give as an argument to rm. But we have given here star, right? That means everything we need to remove. Star means everything, right? Anything and everything. So everything means whatever the files which we have in our current directory, all those directories, all those files to be removed. Suppose we, let us say we are present under programs directory and we have one subdirectory S1, we have one file F1, another file F2. Okay, so then under subdirectory we have another subdirectory S2, then we have file S3, under S2 let us say we have another file F4. Okay, so likewise we have some directories and files. Now if I say remove star, so all those which are under our current directory will be removed. Okay, all those which are under current directory will be removed, but this directory will not be removed because rm is used only for removing the files, right? So we are under programs directory, so these files f1 and f2 will be removed. Okay, so if you have multiple other files like f5, x6, f6, etc., so those will also be removed. Okay, so that is how the rm star works. Okay, that is how the rm star works. Everything in your current directory will be deleted, so you should be cautious while using it. Star means, so that star will be replaced by the files which are present in our current directory. Let us say f1, f2 and f4. So the star will be replaced by all these file names. Okay, star will be replaced by all these file names. So star means in our current directory we have F1 file, F2 file and F3 or F4 file, let us say, and this star is replaced by RM, F1, F2, F4. So this star is replaced by all these file names. Who will do that? That is the work of the shell. Okay, that is the work of the shell. It will take the meta character and it will interpret it and replace. Whenever you get the meta character, it will replace its original meaning. Okay, star will be replaced by all the files which are there in our current directory. So your rm star command will become rm f1 f2 f4 after the shell interprets it and expands the abbreviation. Okay, so that is how the shell works. Okay, the next step, first step is it is waiting for the command, and then after you enter the command it will interpret the meta characters and it expands its abbreviations. Next step is it passes that command after expansion to the kernel for further execution. Okay, it will that simplified command whatever we saw now, rm star is simplified as rm f1 f2 f4, that will be handed over to the kernel for further execution. To remove all those files, kernel will be handed over that command. The shell waits for the command to complete. After handing over to the kernel, the shell will be waiting till the kernel completes the work. And it cannot do any work in that time. Okay, it will not do any work in that time. It will be simply waiting. After the completion, the kernel gives back the control to the shell and prompt will reappear for the user. Okay, the dollar prompt will be reappearing for the user and shell will return to its waiting role. Okay, shell will return to its waiting role and it will be waiting for the user to enter the next command so that it can again start the next cycle. Okay, so that it can again start the next similar cycle and follow all these steps. Okay, so this is the interpretive cycle of the shell. It waits for the command. After you enter the command, it will check for meta characters and it will expand the abbreviation, make the command simple, bring it into the simpler form, hands it over to the kernel for execution. Till then it will be waiting till the kernel completes the execution. After the completion of the execution of the command, it will give you the prompt again and it will be waiting for the next command to start the next cycle. Okay, so these are all the steps of interpretive cycle of the shell. So these 5 steps in detail you have to explain, okay, when this question comes. Is that clear? Okay, let us learn the wildcard characters. Okay, then the wildcards, let us see. Wildcards means the meta characters which we use in our commands to give some special meaning of the arguments. The command to list all chapter files. Suppose you want to write a command to list all the chapter files, you will write like this, right? Suppose let us say there is a file called chap with nothing followed, but we have other files like chap01, chap02, chapx, chapy, chapz, chapxyz. So these are all the different chapter files we have in our current directory, and we would like to list using ls command. We would like to list all of them. It will list. Shell offers a facility to represent them by a single pattern. Instead of writing all these commands, all these file names separately mentioned, you can simply write chap star. Okay, you can simply write chap star. That means all the file which starts with the character chap, this is the pattern what you are writing. Okay, this is the pattern what you are writing. all to represent all the files which start with chap and followed by anything or nothing. Okay, anything may be followed after chap, but or nothing may be followed. See, for example, the first one you can see here, it is having simply chap and followed by nothing. That will also be listed, okay, by this chap star. So star matches anything or nothing, okay, and any occurrence, any number of occurrences. Like here we have chap 0 1, after chap we have 2 characters. Here we have chap x, we have after chap we have only 1 character x, and here after chap we have 3 characters. So anything it will match, any number of occurrences after chap it will match. And anything is there or it is not there, then also it will match the pattern. Okay, so that is how we can write the use the meta characters for writing a pattern to be matched when writing the command. Is it clear? So now this chap star will list all these files. Okay, chap star will list all these files which starts with a chap and followed by anything or nothing. So star is a meta character. Shell will expand it suitably before the command execution. If you say ls chap star, if you say ls chap star, then the shell will take this command and it will expand. So this chap star will be expanded by all these file names. Okay, chap star will be expanded by all these file names: chap 01, chap 02, chap x, chap y, and chap z, chap xyz. So that chap star will be expanded with all these file names, okay, before its execution. Meta characters are called as wild cards. Okay, so a joker, when you play cards, if you get a joker, it will match with any cards, right? Any combination of cards, you can have a joker to complete the set. Similarly here, this meta character acts as a wild card, a joker, in which matches many of the occurrences. Okay, so to complete the pattern. Okay, then the shell's wild cards. What are all the wild cards the shell support? The list is here. So which we have studied already is the star, which matches 0 or more characters. Okay. Then the question mark is another meta character, which is, this is also a question paper question. List all the shell's wild cards and explain their meaning. So then you have to write this table and give examples for all of them, varieties of example for all of them, and explain the examples and their outputs. Okay. So question mark, any single character it will match. Okay, star will match many characters, 0 or more characters. Single character, question mark will match a single character and it will not match 0. One single character must be there. Okay, that is question mark. Then this pattern within within square parenthesis ijk is there. So what is this square parenthesis? Square parenthesis is a character class. It is called as a character class. Okay, so within that whatever you give, only that will be matched, and it matches only one character. Okay, it matches a single character, either I, J or K. Any one of them it will match, and any one of them, only one character it will match. Okay, but you can give any number of characters within the parenthesis, but it matches only a single character. Out of these, any one, if it is existing, it will match. Okay, so then next is in same character class, any character class will match only one character. Please remember that. Okay, then X to Z. So here you are giving the range within the character class. That means from X to Z, that means X, Y, Z, any character, if it comes, then it will match. So you can give also the pattern like within character class 1 to 9. Then it will match all the characters which starts with 1 1 to 9, any character occurrence 1 to 9, it will match. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, any occurrence it will match. Okay, so likewise you can give the range. A to Z also you can give here. A to Z, that means from A to Z any alphabet if it occurs it will match, but only small characters here. Okay, we have given. If you give capital A to Z within character class, then any character which is capital from A to Z will be matched. Okay, then this pattern, there you can observe an exclamatory mark, right? You can observe an exclamatory mark before IJK in the character class. So that exclamatory mark acts as a not. Okay, that exclamatory mark acts as a not, means it creates a negative action. Okay, so that means not IJK. So this character class matches any one character which is not an I or a J or a K. Any other characters apart from I, J, K, it will match. Okay. So then here same thing, not X to Z means X, Y. X to Z is X, Y, Z, right? The range X to Z is X, Y, Z. Not X, Y, not X to Z means not X, Y, Z. It will match any character which is in the range X to Z. Okay. It will match any character. It will not match any character which is in the range X to Z. That means X, Y, Z it will not match, but any other character it will match. Okay. Then the next one, this one is used for matching the dissimilar patterns. You can group the dissimilar patterns within flower parenthesis. All of them will be matched. Okay, we will see an example for this, then it will be more clear to you. For all of them we will see the examples, then it will be more clear to you. Okay, is that clear? So these are all the wildcards which are used in the commands, and shell, whenever it encounters any meta character like this, it will bring it to its simpler form and then it will hand it over to the kernel. It will bring the abbreviations. It will expand the command using its abbreviations and then hand it over to the kernel for its further execution. Okay, so these are all the wildcard characters which are used by the shell. Let us see some examples. Let us start with a star. Okay, let us study about the star meta character. As we discussed, it matches any number of characters including none. That means 0 or any number of characters. That is matched by a star. The command ls chap 01, chap 02, xyz separately, all can be shortened as ls chap star. It can be shortened as ls chap star. So if you write this command, it will list all these files, and also if you use this command, it will list all these files. So it is simpler, right? This command is simpler. So all these files are simply written with this pattern. Okay, all these files can be matched with this pattern. Okay, so simply that file can be shortened like this. That pattern, all specify, rather than specifying so many file names, you can simply write this pattern. So the shell identifies star as a wildcard and looks in its current directory and recreates the command as like this. So now when you enter this command in the shell prompt, it will look into the meta character. So as and when it finds the meta character, it will take and it will expand it like this. It will replace that star with all these file names, okay, which are there in our current directory. It will take, which starts with chap and followed by anything, and hands it over to the kernel for further execution, right? See, for example, if you write echo star, there is a command called echo, right? Echo is a command which will display the message as it is on our screen, right? So here echo star, that means it will list all the file name in your current directory. Okay, echo star will list all the files which are present in your current directory. Then rm star. Rm star means remove everything. It will delete all the files in your current directory, but it should be cautiously used. Okay. So then we have this question mark. It is used for matching a single character. Question mark is used to match a single character, whereas star is used to match multiple characters or 0 characters. Okay. So now let us see how we can use this question mark. LS chap question mark. If you use LS chap question mark, what is the meaning? What is the difference between chap star and chap question mark? Chap star means it will match chap 01, chap 02, chap x, chap y or chap xyz. Anything which starts with a chap and followed by a thing or anything will be matched. But here question mark will match only one character. That means after chap you can have only one character, and that one character must be present. You cannot simply have chap as we matched with chap star. Here it will not match the null values. Okay, it will match one single character. So after chap you should have one single character. So which are all the chapter files which have one character after chap? Yes, these are the files, right? Chap x, chap y, chap z, it will list. After chap there should be only one character, and that character must be present. Okay, so it will not list the chap file also, because after chap nothing is there. So it will not list this chap file also. Is that clear? Next, if you say ls chap double question mark, what is the meaning of this? After chap there should be two characters, and two characters must be present. Okay, so what are the files which have two characters after chap? The two characters after chap are chap 01, chap 02, chap 03. Chap x, chap y, chap z will not be displayed because they have only one character after chap. And what about chap xyz? It is having three characters after chap. So it will not be displayed. Only chap 01, chap 02, chap 03 will be displayed. Okay. Then if you say ls dot 3 question mark star. So you can have combination like this. You can have combination of meta characters also. So when you say dot 3 question marks and a star, what is the meaning of this? The file should start with a dot. Okay, the file should start with a dot, and after that it can have three characters. It should have three characters must, and followed by anything or nothing. Okay, so that is the meaning. But three characters must be there, followed by any number of characters may be there, may not be there, but it should also start with a dot. Okay, that is the pattern. That is what the pattern says. Okay, let us see which files will match. So it will match these files. See, all these files are starting with a dot, and at least three characters it is having. Okay, and after three characters many things may be there, may not be there. Suppose if you have a file with dot txt, will it match? Dot txt, will it match? Yes, it will match, because after the dot there are three characters. It will match. Suppose if we have a dot ex file, will it match? No, it will not match, because after the dot we should have three characters, but here only two characters are there, so it will not be matched. Okay, so that is how the patterns will be matched. Is that clear? Next example is ls emp star list. That means first three characters should be emp, followed by anything or nothing, and the last three characters must be lst. Okay, you should start with emp, end with lst. In between something may come, or anything may not be there also. Then also it will match. Okay. So let us see what are all the files it matches. It matches emp.list. So there is a dot in between emp and lst, so it will be matched. Then emp1.lst. So here 1 and dot is there, so it will be matched. emp22lst, it will also be matched because it is starting with emp and ending with lst. Here also empn.list, it will also be matched because in between we have n and dot. It's starting with emp and ending with lst. In between anything may be there. But what about the file with the name emplst? Will it match? emplst, will it match? Yes, it will match because it should start with emp, end with lst. In between anything may be there, may not be there. That is the speciality of the star, right? Anything may be there, may not be there. It should start with emp, end with lst. Okay. So then if there is a file called empst, will it match? empst, it will not match because it is not ending with lst, rather it is ending with st, only st, starting with emp but not ending with lst, so this will not be matched. Okay, so that is how the patterns will be matched with the star and the question mark. Is that clear? Any doubts here? You can just ping me. Okay, next the character class. Okay, so we will execute the star and question mark commands and then we'll come back to character class. Okay, let us see what are all the files. I have created some files which start with chap. Let us see what are them. ls. So many files I have created. See chap01, here you can see chap01, below that chap02, chap03, chapx, chapxyz, chapy, chapz. So all those files which chap I have created. You can also create these files and execute these commands, or whatever the files you have in your current directory, with that only you can experiment. And also I have created some files with emp for our checking. The files are emp, emp.c, emp.list, emp1.list, emp22.list, empn.list. So these files I have created which we will be using for our commands execution. Okay, so let us see the command. When we say ls chap space chap 01 chapx chapy and chap xyz, let me say. So all these files will be listed, right? ls means listing the files. So all these files I am trying to list. So it will list all these files are there, right? All these files are existing. Then if I want to write in a shortened form, simply I can say, rather than writing all the commands, all the file names in the command, I will simply say chap and a star, which will list all the files which are starting with chap and followed by anything or nothing. See chap01, 02, xyz, xy, all those are the files which are having something after chap. But you can see this first one which is starting with a chap but followed by nothing, that will also be listed. Star means that only. The pattern should be considered. The first 4 characters chap will be displayed. After that anything is there or it may not be there, it will match it. Okay. Okay, then let us see another command. Echo star, we discussed about this, right? Echo star. So what it will do, it will list all the files which are there in my current directory. Echo star will list all the files which are there in my current directory. But rm star I will not execute because all these files which are displayed now will be deleted and will not be having any files for our discussion, right? So I am not going to execute rm star. Okay. Then let us see. So this is how you can execute the pattern, you can design a pattern with star. Let us execute the pattern with question mark. Let me clear the screen. Okay, so now we'll see ls chap and question mark. So previously we used a star, right? Means anything starting with chap and followed by anything or nothing will be displayed. But here the file name which starts with chap and followed by a single character will be displayed. See, chap x, chap y, chap z will only be displayed. Others, chap 01, 02 or chap xyz, they will not be displayed because they are all having multiple characters after chap. So now this pattern chap question mark will only display the files which are starting with chap and after that have only one character, that is chap x, chap y and chap z. Okay, so that is how the question mark works. Similarly, if you say ls chap and double question mark, okay, if you say ls chap double question mark, what it will display? It will display all the files which are starting with chap and followed by two characters See, chap 01, chap 02, chap 03. Chap xyz it will not display because it is having three characters after chap. Only it will display chap 01, chap 02 and chap 03, which are having two characters after chap. Okay. Then let us say ls dot three question marks, let us say. So there are no files, okay, there are no files which starts with dot and followed by three characters. So we will say some more characters we will add with a star. Okay, so now it has to list all the files which start with a dot followed by minimum of three characters and anything it may be followed, three characters or 4 or 5 or 10, anything. Okay, so those file names it has to match. See, all these it will be matching. So all those files which are starting with a dot and having minimum 3 characters after that will be displayed. Okay, so then let us say ls, we will discuss about emp files now. Let us say emp ls emp star lst. What is the meaning of this? It will display all the files which are starting with emp and end with lst. In between something may come or may not come. Okay, see, all these files it is displaying. So it is all these files, 4 files are starting with, see, all these 4 files which are listed here are starting with emp and ending with lst. In between something is there or something may not be there also. Even simply emp lst will also be listed. Okay, let us create that file emp lst and check. So how to create the file? Using cat, let us say emp lst, then type some random characters. Okay, then control D for ending the creation of the file. Now this file is also created. So now you can say ls emp star lst, then emp lst here will also be listed. It is starting with emp, ending with lst, in between nothing is there. Not necessary because a star is there which will match null also. Okay, so this is how you can use the star and question mark for representing the short forms of the file name. Some patterns you can write which will give you the short forms and easy less keying of the commands will be considered. Okay, and as soon as these meta characters are encountered by the shell will take this meta character and brings it into its simpler form and then hands it over to the kernel for further execution. Okay, now let us see the character class. The character class starts with this two square parentheses. Whatever you give within that, it will consider all of them, but you can match only one character. Okay, so now if you say ls chap 0, after that within character class you write 1 2 3 4. That means the file name should start with chap 0 and followed by any one character, which may be either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So that means output you will get like this: chap 01, chap 02, chap 03. Okay, so that will be matched. Because we don't have chap 04, it is not considering this. Okay, so we have only chap 01, 02, 03, so it will be considered. Okay, so it should start with chap 0 and followed by only one character, and that character should be either a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4. Okay, so that is the pattern we have written with character class. Okay, okay, then we have another example: ls chap 0 within character class 1 to 4. Here we are specifying the range. Okay, so 1 to 4 means the file name should start with chap 0 and followed by any one character, because character class matches only one character. Please remember that. And after chap 0 it can have only one character, and that character may be 1 to 4. That means 1, 2, 3 or 4. So again it will list the same thing. Rather than writing this entire thing, you can write like this. Both are same. Okay. You can write A to Z also, X to Z also. If you write chap 0 X to Z, then okay, chap space X. See, if you write like this, ls chap within character class X to Z, then chap x, chap y, chap z will be displayed. Okay, it should start, the file name should start with chap and followed by any one character in the range x to z. That is the meaning. Okay, similarly here, so this 0 shouldn't be there. Okay, because we don't have 0x, 0z, 0y, 0z, so that 0 shouldn't be there here. So this one. Okay, ls chap bracket xy x to z, then it will display chap x, chap y and chap z. Okay, this is how you can use the character class. It matches only a single character which is given within the character class. It may be a range or a set of values. Negating a character class is also possible with a not symbol, that is exclamatory symbol. So what this pattern will match? It will match the file names which can be starting with anything. See, this star says anything. File name may be anything. See, file name will have two things, right? File name and there will be a dot and after that extension, isn't it? File name is the name of the file and after this dot there is an extension. This extension will be usually of 3 characters or single also. Usually it will be of 3 characters. So this extension will tell you what type of file it is. If there is a file name with .c extension, we indicate that it is a C file. .cpp is a C++ file. .exe is an executable file. .txt is a text file, isn't it? .xls is an Excel file, isn't it? Like that, .jpg is a picture file. Likewise, to identify what type of file it is, we will use the extensions. So file name, after that a dot and the extension will be there. That is the usual convention used for naming the files. Okay, so here we have that thing. So here file name may be anything, after that a dot, and extension should not be C or O. That means any file name which is having an extension C or an extension O. So you shouldn't take CO as a whole, because character class matches only a single character, right? So you cannot CO as a whole there. So either .c or .o files will not be matched. See here, either .c or .o files will not be matched. Okay, so what about this pattern? Not A to Z, not A to Z, A to Z. That means it is giving the range within character class. Anyway, even though you have this big range, it will match a single character, and that character shouldn't be an alphabet, either small case alphabet or capital case alphabet. It shouldn't be an alphabet of capital or small case. That is the meaning of this pattern. Okay, not A to Z, A to Z, small a to Z, capital A to Z. That is the meaning. Okay. Okay, then let us execute the. Okay, look at this example. This command has to list a file which start with a chap 0, and after that there can be only one character, and which is written within this character class, and that should be either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. That means chap 01 or chap 02 or chap 03 or chap 04. Any one of them should be listed. Okay. Now it is listing chap 01, 02, 03. As 04 is not there in my current directory, it is not listing. Okay. So even if you create that and see, then also it will be matched. If you say cat chap 0, okay, we have to create with greater than symbol. Okay, greater than chap 04. Control D for ending the creation. So now chap 04 is also there. Now if you list, chap 04 will also be listed. If chap 05 is there, it will not be listed because that is not in the list of character class. Right? Now let us see ls. See, the same thing can be written with a range 1 to 4. Okay. Same thing can be written with a range 1 to 4. Now also same thing will be listed. If you say 1 to 5 also, it will list the same thing, but 5 is not there with us, it will not list. Okay. Then you can say chap within parenthesis x to z, or xyz also you can say, or simply x to z, a range what we are giving here. It will list chap x, chap y and chap z. See, if you simply see the theory, it will be difficult to understand. Only you will have the imagination. But if you practically execute and check, you will clearly understand the concept. That's why I am giving you the executions here. Okay. And negating. Okay. Negating. If you take negating here, let us take not. Okay. Exclamatory not. I will give you the range x to z only. That means it shouldn't list any file which is starting with chap and followed by x to z. Okay, we have to close it. It will not list any one because chap x, chap y, chap z is only there. Chap 01 you have to give with chap 0, isn't it? So we have to give chap 0. Okay, let me say within parenthesis not zero one. Okay. See now what happens. Okay, 0 or 1. If chap 01 is not listed because it is there. Suppose if you change it to 1 and 2, then chap 0, see here chap 0, it should start with chap 0 and followed by chap 0 in this pattern. It is starting with chap 0, sorry, chap 0 and followed by any one character which shouldn't be 1 or 2. So 3 and 4 will be listed, 1 and 2 will not be listed. Okay, 1 and 2 will not be listed. So suppose if you want to see all the .c files, we will say star.c. all the C files it will list. But if you say ls, file name may be anything, and there will be a dot, but after that it shouldn't be a C. Then you can say not C. C file shouldn't be listed. Okay, let us close it. Okay, so no such file or directory. .c files will not be listed. Okay, .c files, yes, .c files are there. It is not displaying because no files with dot extensions are there in my current directory, right? So here you can see no extensions with single dot, with single letter after the dot is there. So it is saying no file or directory. But if you say, for example, if you say ls star.c, then all the C files will be displayed. Okay, that is how you can use the character class. Okay, that's all for today. Have a great day. We'll meet in the next class. Bye bye.